Washington, D.C., October 14, 2025. The U.S. federal government shutdown has entered day 14 as senators reconvened Tuesday to hold the eighth attempt to advance a funding measure and reopen federal operations. With sharp partisan divides over healthcare subsidies and the structure of spending bills, the path to resolution remains uncertain. What's at stake? The shutdown began at 12:01 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time on October 1, 2025, after Congress failed to pass appropriation bills or a continuing resolution. Roughly 900,000 federal employees were furloughed, and another 700,000 are working without pay. Essential services such as Medicare, Medicaid, federal law enforcement, and parts of the Department of Defense continue, while many agencies face partial or full suspension. One key point of contention: Democrats are demanding that any short-term funding bill include an extension of Affordable Care Act, ACA, health insurance tax credits. Republicans have resisted. The eighth Senate vote. What to watch? The Senate returned Tuesday and is scheduled to vote around 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time on a House-passed clean, continuing resolution, i.e. a stopgap funding bill, without added policy riders. This time, unlike prior rounds, senators will not simultaneously consider a Democratic counterproposal. Because a 60-vote threshold is needed to advance the measure in the Senate, Republicans must win additional Democratic support, Senate Majority Leader John Thune said. Adjusting the extension date in the House's version is under discussion, as some of the 7-week extension period has already elapsed. Political pressure and competing narratives. House Speaker Mike Johnson has declined to bring the chamber back into session, insisting the House has done its job by passing the funding extension and demanding Democrats now act. Democrats have criticized Johnson's posture, accusing House Republicans of ceding responsibility and refusing to negotiate in good faith. The union representing U.S. Capitol Police urged both parties to negotiate, citing the strain on officers who are working without pay. Senator Chris Van Hollen, Democrat Maryland, and other Democrats called out the Trump administration for targeting federal workers and urged a return to dialogue. The White House's Office of Management and Budget, OMB, announced it is preparing to ride out the shutdown while continuing reductions in force, REFs, within agencies. Impacts and concerns. Military pay is a flashpoint. President Trump has directed the Pentagon to use available funds to cover service members, and Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem said Coast Guard personnel will receive pay this week. Many federal workers, contractors, and program beneficiaries remain in limbo, unable to plan finances, execute services, or fulfill obligations. Some executive branch departments have already begun issuing layoff notices to non-essential staff. What might happen next? If the Senate fails again to advance the Republican measure, negotiations may pivot toward modular appropriations or more targeted funding bills, though those require bipartisan support. A potential compromise could include a shorter extension period combined with assurances that ACA subsidies will be addressed legislatively. As the shutdown drags on, pressure may mount from economic, social, and political fronts, forcing concessions or a breakthrough.